Hello, my name is Dennis Martin. I'm with the Ohio Valley Fly Rod Club. Today we'll be tying the black ant fly. The black ant fly is one of my favorite terrestrial patterns in fly fishing, partly because of how easy it is to tie, but also because trout eagerly gobble these flies up. They should be fished in the surface film or just below the surface. So if you use any floating, keep it sparse. The banks are the best place to cast this fly since most ants find their way into the water at that point. These flies can be tough to see, so focus on where the fly should be after each cast. Sometimes it helps to have the ant tied onto a dry fly or hopper to help create a focal point. Set the hook after any trout rise in the area you think your fly should be if you lose sight of it. The materials used for tying this fly include a standard dry fly, which I use a TMC 100 in a size 16. However, larger flies such as size 12 or 14 can also be tied. The thread is black. If I'm tying a larger fly, I may use some life cycle dubbing to help build the body up a little bit. The body or head for the size I'm tying today is made entirely of black thread, and the legs are made of black hackle. I will tie on the black thread and wind to the bend. Build up the body so that it is bulkiest at the end of the fly and tapers behind and forward. Tie in the hackle near the center of the shank and give it 3 to 4 turns. Tie off the thread and trim the excess. Build the head the same way you did the body. Trim the thread, whip finish, and if you desire to add head cement, or for a stronger fly, add a touch of Sally Hansen's hard as nails to the head and body. Kind of hard. Okay, the first step is putting the hook in the vise. Again, I'm using a size 16 TMC 100. We'll tie the thread to the hook. I'll take it to the back of the hook. Tapering the body is one of the most important steps in tying this fly. So I try to taper the back part of the body first. You'll notice how it builds up as we go. I'm trying to build up the abdomen of the fly. Notice how ants have a very pronounced abdomen and thorax with legs. Okay, I've got the abdomen built up. I'm going to put some hackle on to represent the legs. So we'll take a prepared hackle. You can see where I've stripped the feathers off of it, the barbules off of the end that I'm going to tie in. And I'm going to tie that down. Move my thread over here just so I can tie it a little better. I'll use my hackle pliers to hold this fly while I go around 3 or 4 times just to give it some little bit leggy look. And depending on how large your feather is, you may not need to go but 2 or 3 times. In this case, I think I went 3. We'll tie it off. After I tie it off, I'll clip the excess, the extra. Always try to do all of my cuts on the top and try not to squeeze my, on the opposite side from where my line is hanging, and I try not to squeeze my scissors. I put them in and just push it and it clicks it off. That way I'm not gonna tear anything up that I don't intend to. Now I'm gonna build up the front of the fly. You may have to use your dubbing needle to pull the feathers back every now and then just to keep them out of the way. After I got the front or the thorax built up, then I'll whip finish it and tie it off, and I will be through. I put about 5 or 6 turns with whip finish on there. Excuse me, and then I'll tie it down. And again, if you want to make sure this is a little bit extra sturdy, you can put some thread, put some super glue or Sally Hansen or head cement. You can get an idea of the taper of the thorax and the abdomen and the legs, just to see what that is. May require just a little bit extra clipping, but there's your there's your black fly ant.